Welcome guys back to the channel. This car, as you can see from the title, came all the way from Scotland, from Edinburgh, which took him 9 hours of driving, and then he flowed back. The owner of this car flowed back to Scotland, to Edinburgh. That took him 1 hour. He left the car with us and he told us to be as thorough as he can be and get everything sorted because he likes the car and wants it to run properly. So now let me switch the camera and show you what is wrong with it and how to fix it. Guys, if you want to get a scan tool, like a decent scan tool, I linked one in the description of the video. If you use the discount code MrNiceGuy94, you will get 10 or 15% of discount, but throughout the site, not only just to that scan tool. So let's have a look what we've done so far. We have removed the valve cover. It doesn't look dirty, like it looks like the oil change is being done quite on time. However, a bad news is the camshaft lobes are worn, so it needs a camshaft replacement. But the main reason the owner came is because the car sometimes threw the fault code of the P2262, which is that exhaust pressure sensor. The orange one needs replacement. However, recently I got a lot of messages asking the same question, that even though they replaced the sensor, the code keeps coming back. We even had a customer who was here with us. He had the sensor replaced, I believe, if I remember correctly, but he's been to the dealership, and what they've done to it, they replaced the turbo because they said the turbo is bad, and they didn't fix the problem. They wanted to replace further parts, but the owner didn't give them green light. Instead, he came to us. I believe that took him like 3 hours to get to us. We got it fixed for him, and now the car is good since then. But that was a different owner, different customer. This is from Scotland. So basically, why they think the turbo is faulty when the P2262 is triggered, because the description of the fault code is turbocharger/supercharger mechanical fault or something. So that's why they think there is wrong with the turbo itself. However, it can be further from the truth. Obviously, you shouldn't just replace a turbo. You should check if the turbo is fine. How you can check it? You can check the shafts or check the turbine wheels if they are spinning freely, if they have any play in them, if the turbine wheel is damaged, if the wastegate flap is damaged, and so on and so forth. So without checking all these things, I wouldn't recommend replacing the turbo. But now back to the topic. So basically, after you replace the sensor, it still may throw you with a fault code, and then some mechanics or even owners, DIYers, start to look into different areas how to fix the problem. I'll tell you how to fix it. So it is not enough just to replace the sensor, because if that pipe is blocked, which will be very, very likely, we see that very, very often, that pipe needs to be cleaned. Why? Because even though you replace the sensor, now the sensor can read and provide the proper data to the ECU. However, the air is coming through that pipe, the metal pipe, to the sensor. And if that is blocked with carbon, there is a blockage, so air cannot pass that blockage, and the air cannot get to the sensor, so it cannot send the data to the ECU. Once that is unblocked, you can use the car and the fault code won't come back on. And now people ask us, why is it expensive to clean it and how we clean it? So basically, how we clean it, we always remove the valve cover, because the valve cover is plastic and we don't want to melt it, because we need to heat that pipe up, and then we're going to blow air through it, and it will come out as a fireball or bits of fireball from the EGR cooler area. I'll try to record that and show on camera. So that's why we need to remove the valve cover. And once we do it, we also check the exhaust camshaft for wear, and also if the camshaft is not worn, we just put back everything with new valve cover gasket and new injector washers. That is one scenario. The other scenario is that the camshaft is worn, like in this case, we need to replace the camshaft, And the third scenario can be that if the injector washers were already blowing out, like around those holes would be a carbon buildup, then unfortunately we need to drop the sump as well, because the strainer will be blocked already or getting blocked, and it will cause oil pressure problems in the future. So those are the scenarios that can happen, and also like a combination of them. So maybe camshaft is not worn but the buildup is there, so on and so forth. And also let's have a look at the carbon buildup side of the things. I mean, it's definitely there, the carbon buildup is there. It looks like it has been done, but me personally, if we have removed all these bits, I definitely recommend getting it done. The owner will know that he will get a good car back, and he shouldn't have any problems in the future. Obviously, we recommend the carbon cleaning getting done every 5 years or 50,000 miles. That's like a general recommendation. It can be less for someone who drives mostly in the city and uses and does short journeys, or it can be extended to like more mileage if someone uses the car longer journeys, motorway. So it heavily depends on how the car is used. That's why we say 5 years or 50,000 miles, because that's it, like a general advice when it should be done. And also, unfortunately guys, that is also a question we get asked a lot. The carbon cleaning is like a maintenance item. It needs to be done. New cars will have it, the carbon buildup, so it will come back, I would say, as I said, every 5 years. So that will be done on this car. Once I replace the camshaft, I'll show you the results. I'll ask the owner about the carbon cleaning. If he wants us to get it done, I'm going to get that done and show you the results of that, and then the car should be good to go. And also I'll try to show you how we heat up the pipe and get that fireball, get that blockage out of it. So I have removed the pressure sensor, and I even myself haven't tried it, so this is going to be the first time on this car I'm going to try it. So basically then is going to pressurize that pipe. Now the exhaust camshaft is removed, so all the valves should be closed, so the gas or any smoke shouldn't come out from the injector hole areas, but rather from the EGR cooler side. So once he pressurizes, the smoke should come out freely, or you should hear like air coming through freely from the EGR cooler side. As you can see, nothing is coming out from there, but rather from the pipe itself, meaning there is a blockage somewhere down in the pipe which needs to be addressed. So how we are going to fix it, stay tuned, and we are going to show it to you guys shortly. So Dan is back with the blowtorch, and how we do it, we heat up the pipe till it glows, and then he's going to pressurize the pipe with the air, and you will see what will come out from here. Yeah. So go ahead then.
Make sure you melt this pipe.
Yeah, burn a hole on it. So the carbon is already burning inside, you can see the smoke. You see, it's burning, so there is a lot of carbon in there.
Sorted.
So yeah, this is how you get the pipe clean. And as I said, it's not enough just to replace the sensor, because if the pipe is blocked, it don't do anything. It will throw the same fault code, same warning lights on the dash and all that sort of stuff. And also, it's not always the first time, although it worked us on the first time for us, but sometimes you need to do it like 10 attempts, or mentioned yesterday's case. It took us like what, 6 hours, 5-6 hours just to get that pipe clean. So yeah, this is how you get rid of the P2262 fault code. Now I'm going to feed back the new exhaust pressure sensor. also with the camshaft, and basically then assembling the car back together. The new camshaft is fitted for the Scotland Mazda. Now I'm going to fit the oil shower and then the new exhaust pressure sensor and replace the drive belt, because probably you can see them cracks. And the owner decided to not to do the carbon cleaning at this point, so I'm just going to assemble the parts back together, and this car should be running today.